It's been about a year, and I figured it's time to give a nice update on what's going on our fruit farm here. So right at our entrance, this is at the bottom of the hill. You can see where this is lower elevation. I've got this Pakistani mulberry seedling. Still hasn't flowered or fruited yet. It's probably about 3 or 4 years old now. Slow growing, but it's starting to show some life. Here I planted a line of loquats, different seeds of loquats that I got from a fruit tasting, and every single one of them tastes really good. So I don't remember which seeds are which. Some are white, some are orange, some are large, some are on the smaller size. This is the only one that I know which one it is, and this is a Vista White seedling. And this one is also about 3 or 4 years old and has not yet fruited. So a couple more seedlings, got them in the ground, a little bit of mulch, and we'll see, maybe 4 or 5 years from now we'll get some fruit. I have some various dragon fruit that I planted here next to these palm trees. I just let them, eventually they'll just start climbing up. These are all fruiting, just different varieties of dragon fruit or pitaya. You can see they go pretty high up there. And one more that's starting to climb. You can see they've got these nice little aerial roots that grab on to the tree and hold on for dear life. Okay, and then here I have a passion fruit vine. This thing is probably about 9 years old now, and they're not supposed to produce fruit after so many years, maybe 4 or 5 years, but this one just keeps on going. So I'm leaving it in here. It just kind of gets the overflow from the hose. Got this big pecan tree here that produces a ton of pecans every year. I don't have to water it. It's found groundwater. I just have to fight the crows for it. And then here are these large mulch piles that I keep, trying to mulch the trees, but it's about 6.5 acre farm, and keeping up with mulching is not easy. All right. Let's see. I also have this nopales. This thing popped up in my vineyard, and I put it in a pot. Just let it do its thing. Here's one of my wells. This one goes down about 1,100 feet to supply water. Over here along my front gate, I have a bunch of Oro Blanco grapefruits, and they all have ripe fruit on them right now, some more than others. I could probably be watering them more, but the trees survive. And here I've got some blackberry bushes that are just producing a ton of blackberries. I'll go over these later. These are just some potted eugenias and plinias that I have. Burn pile. This is all the grape trimmings from the year prior. I need to light these on fire and make some wood ash. Here's another well. This is from this taps into a shallow aquifer. This is just an artesian hand dug well that's about 4 feet wide. All right, and start with the peaches. This is a Babcock peach. It's a white peach, and it produces more fruit than it should. Pretty much every flower that sets creates a fruit, so I need to come out here and thin it, but it's just loaded with fruit right now. So I'll try to get out and thin it. It's not easy. Here's another peach. This is mid-pride, I believe. Yeah, mid-pride. It's been in the ground for, this is its 2nd year, but but it's doing well. I'll let it hold a few fruit. I need to thin this one out a little bit as well. Another great low chill peach. Love this tree. This is a nectaplum, a spicy nectaplum. And as you can see, it is also just loaded with fruit everywhere. I've got to thin this one out as well. So I shouldn't have this many fruit on this tree. It's not that old. Here's a fused fruit. All right. This is a Parfianca pomegranate. It's probably about 9 years old now. And every flower on here will produce a pomegranate. So I'll show you what it looks like later in the season. This whole area used to just be apple trees, and I yanked them all out. These were all Anna apples, so another low chill variety for Southern California. We get screaming hawks out here all the time. But yeah, it's flowering right now. This thing will be loaded with apples. This is my fig tree. This was a Mission Black, and then I grafted a bunch of different varieties on here. I don't really keep track of them, but here's one of the graft unions. I believe this is one of the yellow varieties. You see some early fruit starting to form. But yeah, I'm grafting a number of them on here. One of my neighbors gave me LSU purple. You can see it's starting to push right there. So, fig tree, not a huge fan of figs, but it's nice to have diversity. This is a persimmon. This is Fuyu persimmon, and this tree has always grown as a dwarf. This thing's probably about 9 years old, 8, 9 years old now, grafted, and it produces a lot of fruit. I've tried picking the fruit and letting the tree grow up, and it still doesn't want to grow, so now I just leave it alone. This is a cherry, and this is Royal Crimson, I believe, something like that. But yeah, this flowered for the first time this year. It didn't hold any fruit, but it's getting there. Another low chill nectarine. This is Arctic Star, and another one that every flower produces a fruit, and the tree's very vigorous. So yeah, another one that could probably use some thinning, but I'm sure I won't get around to it. All right. This is a seedling cherimoya. I've shown some fruit off of this one before, and you can see right now it's starting to set some flowers. There's a little flower, it hasn't opened yet. I've got another seedling cherimoya here. This is probably about 10 feet high, really bushy. I don't really prune it or anything. It smells incredible right now because there's a lot of flowers, and some of them are starting to open. They kind of have a spicy, almost pineapple-y scent to them. So this area of the orchard smells pretty good right now. This one sets fruit on its own without any hand pollination. Ah, shoot, just realized there's some fruit that was left over from last season. I'll take this inside and let it ripen on the counter. All right, this is a cotton candy aprium, and it's starting to set some fruit here. This one does okay with setting fruit. Not as productive as the Flavor Delight. You can see I deal with wood borers out here, so they get into the wood, and you can see the sap coming out. These wood borers really do damage on these trees. So I should be pruning off these areas. You can see the sap there forming from where they've dug in, but it's all over the trees. They're a real pain in the ass. They've killed some old peach trees I used to have on the property. All right, so that's big old cotton candy aprium, does really well. Normally sets a decent number of fruit. This is a Panamint nectarine. So this is a yellow nectarine. And this one also has just a ton of fruit. This one does a good job of self-thinning. So I usually don't have to go in here and mess around with it too much. maybe just pick off a fruit or two. But yeah, for the most part, this one only sets what it can hold. And it's probably the biggest of all the trees I have. This one really takes off. Just a lot of fruit on this. So I'll report on the flavor as we get closer to summer. Sorry for the plane noise. All right, this is the Flavor Delight aprium, and this one just puts out a bumper crop every year. You can see more wood borer damage, all this sap coming out. But this one is probably one of my favorite of all the stone fruit trees I have out here. Produces nice full-size fruit every year, no disease, nothing, no pests other than the wood borer, but I don't get leaf curl. It's got a lot of fruit just hanging around everywhere. But yeah, look at that. If you love apricots and you like them to be a little juicier than what you normally get, this is the tree for you. Just love it. All right, back to the apple. And here's another seedling cherimoya that I've been top working over to cherylata, painter's cherylata. So you can see I've done a number of side cleft grafts here. Yeah, a lot of them are starting to take. You see some new buds forming down there on the scion. I'm slowly top working this one over. This is the cherylata branch. And then there's still some cherimoya left to this one with some flowers. I might leave a branch or two of cherimoya just to help with pollination. Yeah, it's coming along. And back to the Babcock peach. As you can see, gophers are a never-ending battle here. They form little mounds everywhere, so I've got to tackle those. And I'll head up to the top of the vineyard so you can see other parts of the orchard.